Hello and welcome back to Queuing for Steam, the show where I look at Steam's discovery queue and rate what pops up on there with my own personal biases or limited experience. Let's see what comes up today. Ducking. Enter the futuristic year of 1984, an age where ducks run wild in frantic battle for glory. Blast your friends with shotguns, net guns, mind control rays, saxophones, magnet guns, and much, much more. This is Duck Game. Yeah, the matches can be quite quick in this from what I've seen, and it's basically a side-on platformer with a emphasis on multiplayer random gunplay and craziness. It looks quite similar in respect, well, works quite similar in respect to like Towerfall and Samurai Gun, but in this one you can actually pick up. You start off with no weapons whatsoever, and you have to pick up what spawns on the map essentially. And there's a wide variety of silly things that can pop up. Um, yeah, there's also mostly multiplayer stuff, though there is some sort of single player challenges and things, as displayed in that screenshot right there. You also get a multitude of different crazy hats and silly things to style your duck up to. Um, yeah, that's basically the scoring system, showing what silliness is going on. I don't know if that particularly applies. I haven't seen the actual announcer. Maybe it's just a intro screen or something. It is rated very positive. Yeesh, 99% of the, well, it's only 246 user reviews, but it is only just newly come out. I believe under a week, roughly under a week at this point, old. It is, yeah, currently on sale, so it is usually $13. Yeah, maybe that is a pretty good value for money for essentially a crazy off the walls type of side platforming shooter. It's just, yeah, it's pretty much a party game. There's no real single player to it much at all or anything. Yeah, 2 to 4 players, local player, couch combat, or online, because that's a nice thing that actually supports online. Because otherwise, it's fairly useless if it is on local multiplayer. There's a single player challenge mode, which is just essentially most of the time it's challenges and stuff, time trial, etc. Level editors and kind of a nice thing to include. It's definitely a Twitch like on the spur reaction time kind of game. I would say for even especially now if it's launch price, which is on until 11th of June. That's I definitely recommend it as a funny party game, especially because of the online component. It's quite amusing. Dark Dreams Don't Die. This one by the crazy creators of the Swery, I believe they were called, the developers. Access Games, although originally I think it is by the guys Swery who did what's that stupid other game that they never actually patched very well. It was all screwed up. Okay, never mind. Dark Dreams Don't Die, Season 1. Okay, this is episodic. This is the story of a man with a very strange fate. His name is David Young. 2 years ago, his wife was murdered by unknown assailants, and Young suffered a blow to the head that cost him his memory. His final words, his wife's final words, look for D, which is kind of silly. And yes, well, it is a silly looking game. You at least even look at the screenshots if they will load. Yeah, it's mostly like investigative type of measures, and let me just reload. Yeah, and there's quick time events, strange things where you go react to the surroundings or whatever prompts that pops up. Very positive, 100% G's completely positive of the meager 126 user reviews. This is another game that is really new. It looks Deadly Premonition, excuse me, is the previous game that Swery did that this is based off of. Obvious Japanese influence there. Strange game. Indeed. Yeah, special promotion. It's usually $50. Maybe that's worth it, but it's only and there's DLC for it. Mostly just costumes, which it looks like. There's a soundtrack, which could be pretty good. The art book, yeah, could be alright if you're really into the game. Voiceover scripts, in case you wanted to voice the characters yourself, I guess. That's really kind of weird. And another costume, which is kind of some of the sillier DLC, but I guess it's limited to this. And then the deluxe edition, which I guess means the entire game. Although maybe this is the entire game that isn't episodic. Or prologue, episode 1 and episode 2. I don't know if it ever got past episode 2 though, that's the thing. Yeah, swearing. Deadly Premonition, yeah, I could just read it there. Because I think it was planned to be episodic, but they never really made it past episode 2, like I said. It is highly regarded, and it is a pretty interesting game, I guess, if you're into this really wacky art, cel shaded art style investigation game. It has a bizarre ass storyline, as far as I know. Yeah, maybe if you were able to play Deadly Premonition on one of the consoles, not the crappy PC board that's broken as fuck, maybe this is worth it. Though perhaps you would probably be playing it then on the Xbox One, which I think it originally came out for. It's a very niche title. Maybe it does the whole investigative process better than what was that other investigating kind of game where he plays a ghost who's dead? Must investigate his own murder. Yeah, that one, whatever its name was, I can't remember. It's probably better than that in that respect, but I'm not sure. It's a very niche title, and I probably myself won't be playing it, but it's a pretty good price. The Masterplan. Tactical squad-based heist game set in the 1970s. Right? The 2D top-down view gives you a great overview of what's happening in any given moment. Well, that's debatable. Your own home there, allowing you to be a real criminal mastermind. Can you pull off the greatest heist in history of mankind? Okay, so is it a more edgier, semi-realistic graphic version of Monaco? Very positive. 83% of meager 139 user reviews. It's another new game that's only just come out. Okay, it looks like you have special abilities like this, or lists different characters and special abilities you can play as. Looks like, yeah. I mean, those doors are the way blessed up has a very Borderlands-esque kind of look to it to a slight degree, with the cel shaded art style, but not like a neon crazy art style like Monaco. Yeah, I'm not too sure really. Okay, copyright. It says a payday kind of style, like wave system, I guess, or another. That's me just speculating. It probably doesn't, but yeah, the cops probably arrive after you've triggered the thing, so triggered the alarm. So yeah. It is on special until 11th of June, but currently it is usually $20. Though as to whether or not it deserves $20, I don't know. The soundtrack edition is 25, and maybe the music's worth it. I don't know. I've actually not heard of this whatsoever. Obviously, usually an indie game. I think I will actually have to take a look at what the visuals are like. Yep. Nixon. Let's do some gameplay, please. Okay. Okay, so it's actually, yeah, squad based. It's the more somewhat an RTS type of style. It's not exactly like Monaco where you control one character. This you control all the characters at one time or any time. Hmm. Okay. So it's sort of Hotline Miami-esque in a way, but if maybe more so if Hotline Miami was a strategy game to a degree. Hmm. It was more, yeah, it was less on the violence and more on the actual tactical strategy of the game. Hmm. Oh, so it looks interesting, but I'm not too sure. Might have to wait on to see what people say about it. I would probably wait till it's on sale. Like, well, 25 is not too bad. Next up, Super Meat Boy. The infamous tough as nails platformer comes to Steam with a playable hit grab character, Steam exclusive. Yep, overwhelming 95% of the equivalent of the 1,000, no, 13,150 so reviews. It is hard as nails, like it says, but it is doable. I myself own this, like bonus levels that are themed around other indie style games. Bit Trip Runner, I guess, yeah, that one is. Um, yeah, I mean, it is. It's a fun kind of wasn't a torture platformer. I guess it's really the pinnacle of its kind, and it is lauded quite well for good reason. But however, I'm not really into those, and I probably won't recommend it. But $15, it's not really on sale at the moment, although it is bundled with indie game movie. Oh yeah, Fez and Braid come with it. Those two also are pretty good indie games. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too sure. I can't really recommend it on my own personal basis, but 'cause I don't like those types of torture platformers. I prefer stuff like Sonic the Hedgehog or Metal Slug, actual platformers that have like abilities that where they have something to do. This is just basically a run and jump, more climb, etc. kind of thing. It's more movement based than actual shooting based or time based or that kind of thing. So I can't really recommend it on my own personal basis, but it is a good game, and if you don't own it, then yeah. Car Mechanic Simulator 2015. New cars, new tools, new options, more parts, and much more fun in the next version of Car Mechanic Simulator. Take your wrench, create and expand your auto repairs service Empire Car Mechanic Simulator 2015 will take you behind the scenes of a daily routine in the car workshop. Overwhelmingly positive, surprising enough. 95% of the 6,600. It probably wishes that 6,000. It's only 600 reviews. Excuse me. It's a couple of months old, or a month or two old. Um, it's only got that many user reviews. Well, I guess it is kind of a niche title, and I mean that's interesting. But I remember playing a long time ago a mechanic simulator kind of game, an early one where you buy secondhand cars off not a lottery, an auction, and then you do them up and you tool them up and you turn them into hot rods and you try and resell them for higher value on an auction, and that was actually quite fun. This, however, I don't think has any of that, where you basically just a person brings in a car and you have to tune it up and you just do a general inspection and parts and crap like that. It doesn't look like there's really any kind of interesting thing about it. I mean, yeah, you could. It looks like, yeah, you generally are just a car mechanic. You have a garage and you tune up or fix broken cars that people bring in, which I can't really see as very interesting myself, but there are plenty of people like that. It is only $20, but for what it's worth, I don't really think there's all that much really interesting with it. I mean, there is the optional problem. It looks like you can take out the cars and drive them around, but as to how realistic or authentic that is, etc., for people who would like it, because it is a simulator, like it says. If its actual car driving mechanics are fucking terrible, then it's a really terrible simulator. Yeah, and there's DLC for it. One free DLC, it looks like. And visual tuning. Try to see the DLC contains new body part tuning parts. Oh, for one car, CMS 15. Wow, what do you do? Nope. It only has one freaking achievement too. Wow, that's incredible. No, no, thank you. GIS 100. Okay, an early access game. GIS 100 is an open-ended programming game by Zachtronics, the creators of Space Cam and Factory, in which you rewrite corrupted code segments to repair the TAS 100 and unlock its secrets. As the assembly language for programming game you can never ask for. Yeah, never asked for, which is a big thing I'm gonna say. It is 100% positive, though it's not been out for about 2 weeks or a week or so. 100% of the Amiga 138 user reviews. It probably is. It's an incredibly niche title. I mean, considering you choosing and picking out programming for what I can assume is a very antiquated machine. I mean, that's an interesting concept. As to whether or not it's really any fun, I don't know. I just, it's early access too, so I don't really know how far that goes. No discount at the moment. $7 though, for a very old-looking kind of Atari 2600 type of game, personally, or even older, probably a Commodore 64. You could replicate these kinds of visuals. I mean, visuals on everything, gameplay can supplement them quite easily, but you're just basically choosing pieces of code, I assume. Let's actually take a look at the video. Yep. And wow, it actually has like a boot up screen for the computer. Fake computer. Oh, no, you actually have to type in code and program code. Oh, no. It isn't even choosing, it's actually proper programming. Okay, this is an incredibly niche title that I do not think I can even recommend unless you are a programmer yourself and you actually enjoy such a boring thing. Personally, oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, I can't even. You Must Build a Boat. You Must Build a Boat is a sequel to the award-winning. Was it 100,000? 1,000,000? 100,000,000? What? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10,000,000. Excuse me. Travel the world, run procedure, generate dungeons, finding artifacts, capture monsters, and recruiting your crew for your rest of the description. But no, it'd be nice if they actually had spaces. That's why people put spaces in between the zeros, so you can actually easily identify. When it's all just listed up like numbers like that, it's difficult to decipher. 10 minutes. No, you must build a boat. I have seen this played, and I am not sure about the match 3 system, especially that it's Real-time match 3, where monsters come along, you engage them, and you get pushed back slowly, slowly, and you have to do this on the fly. It's really freaking distracting, I must say. And eventually you get pushed off, and you don't, and you end the dungeon that you've gone into. Essentially, yeah, you find monsters, and you populate your boat with various different characters, etc. And they help you out in the dungeoneering battles and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure I like this, though very positive. 94% of Amiga, 96 user reviews, so it is extremely new. Like all the other games that have pretty much been on this list, it is really new, under a week old, and it is currently on sale till the 11th of June. It is, but it is usually $5. Okay, for $5, it actually doesn't seem too bad. It's got a good amount of gameplay, I guess, to it, and if you, it's at least this part, attracting vendors and monsters and stuff to come live on your boat. It kind of reminds me of Terraria to a slight degree, where in that if you build a big enough citadel or bastion or whatever you want to call it, that eventually attract people to come live with you, and they offer services, bonuses, etc. That's kind of cool in a way. The only problem is, this match 3 system, which looked kind of fun, but it was also extremely stressful, I would say. Um, and yeah, you build and recruit more monsters that can help you out, or more vendors and stuff. Yeah, $5, it might actually be kind of worth it. Okay, one negative review wall to the top. Yeah, it's mobile style. That's one of the kind of down points. This kind of thing. You also don't build the boat. You just basically populate it with more and more people. It just gets more furnished. Yeah, yeah. It actually does get bigger. So, but you start off with a boat, so you literally the title of it is a misnomer, which is kind of funny to a degree. I mean, it looks kind of cool, but I don't know for $5. Hmm. No, I mean maybe it could be quite fun. Yeah, I mean it's just a grinding system. I haven't played a match 3 for quite a while. No, yeah, I would probably recommend this. I mean, it is such a small cost, especially when it's on sale. Um, yeah, probably definitely pick it up if it's on half price, I would say. Yeah, Fallout 3. Vault-Tec engineers have worked around the clock on an interactive reproduction of wasteland life for you to enjoy from the comfort of your own vault. Included in this expansive world, unique combat, shocking realistic visuals, tons of player choice, and incredible vast and dynamic characters. Yeah, what a meta description you have right there. Hardly. But no, very positive. Although I'm sure I talked about the Game of the Year edition earlier, which is basically the best version of it to get. It's not, it's almost double the price. But then again, $20 for the amount of content this has, and you could go online and you could find crazy amounts of mods for it. Really, really crazy amounts. Um, it's almost a spotless uh, reputation as well. 83% of, well, it's only 3,236 user reviews, but I'm sure there's probably a lot more people that know this actually. Although I must say, maybe New Vegas is a better game considering the legacy of Fallout, but this might be a pretty good introduction into the Fallout style, or Bethesda Fallout style games. Lately, they have also put up the previous Fallout games as well that were by Interplay, and they are pretty good. Though they're a completely different beast to these, because these are more like the Oblivion style type of game, a first/third person adventure RPG. Um, yeah, I would recommend it, especially if it's on sale and the Game Year edition, if it's below 15. dollars. That's definitely a steal. 60 seconds. Okay, another one that's very post-apocalyptic thing. 60 seconds. A dark comedy, atomic adventure of the scavenge and survive, collect supplies, rescue your family before the nuke hits, stay alive in your fallout shelter, make difficult decisions, ration food, and hunt mutant cockroaches, and maybe survive or not. Mostly positive, 78% of positive user reviews. But yeah, it's only 187 though. Well, it's come to roughly a good couple of weeks, possibly a month old. There's an interesting kind of look to it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess you get your family to a bomb shelter and then you go out on scavenging missions and see if you can collect anything from. Yeah, you got a limited time to get to the shelter. It's funny to a degree. Let's take a look at the video and see how the gameplay looks. Yeah, that's not play. It's very 50s Fallout-esque kind of nuclear scare. Yeah, the Reds are coming. Ooga booga booga. It's that kind of please come on, some gameplay would be nice. Yep. Okay, so yeah, running around scavenging, grabbing stuff. Looks like you have 4 item slots in the way you can essentially gather things and get to the shelter. Then you ration out supplies, etc. Okay, and then decide who goes outside, etc. Okay, yeah. So it's basically a quick puzzle game to run around and grab as many things as you can, and then basically a management game after that when you're in the actual bunker. That kind of it's a funny concept. I mean, yeah, it is kind of an interesting concept. Let's see what the negative reviews have to say. First game after the tutorial, get out of the shelter in the kitchen. Where you get trapped in the kitchen, die get a bomb. Your father and I started family for the 50s. Negatives. Okay, low replayability. Okay, so it's similar every time you play. That's just earthquake. Game. Okay, so there's not a lot of replayability to it. I don't know. Yeah, $10 for a game that's kind of an interesting concept, but doesn't really get. I think 78% of the 108% of the reviews. It's a niche title, and not a lot of people have bought either. Probably might really go up in like sale, etc. I mean, it's got a kind of interesting thing to it, but I'm not too sure unless unless it gets a discount. Fez. I own this game and I've actually completed it. Gomez is a 2D creature living in a 2D world, or is he? When the existence of a mysterious third dimension is revealed to him, Gomez is sent out on a journey that will take him to the end of time and space. Use your ability to navigate 3D structures from 4 distinct classic 2D perspectives. Wow, that's a mouthful. Very positive, 91% of the 6,637 reviews. It's quite a nice looking game. It's such essentially, even for a very minimalistic art style. Excuse me. It really also bends your mind when it gets into a 3D landscape and just how things are positioned in space that's communicated through 2D or 2D planes. Yeah, it really, really screws with your mind. And I actually would say this is quite a good game to play. Really, really, yeah, like I've said, bends your mind on the concept of perception. However, there is the caveat of do you support Phil Fish? Because many people are divided on him as such as a person. But I think maybe the best thing is to put that aside and just because he's never going to develop his Fez 2, and he's gone basically went crazy because of Twitter followers and game reviewers being sarcastic assholes and stuff. But I think maybe this is a case of put a, put aside the connotations of Phil Fish and maybe just play the game because it is a good game and it's a one hell of a puzzle. Also, the other concept of there is a actual hidden language in the game, and you have to somehow decipher and learn this language to really get the true ending to the game is also a hell of a mind boggler. It's quite a good game, I must say. It's definitely worth a play. Yeah, I mean that 91% positive reviews is really deserved. It's pretty good. $10. The soundtrack is also quite awesome, so I might actually suggest going for the soundtrack. Though $15 maybe it always goes on sale, so probably that's a good one to get. I mean, also considering Super Meat Boy and Braves bundled with the indie game the movie, that might actually be a pretty good option if it ever goes on sale. Though, yeah, buying the game and soundtracks individually, no, that doesn't look like a very good price. You'd probably better go for the soundtrack edition, and especially if it's on discount for like 10 or less. Um, Cons, buying gold achievements. Yeah, I mean between, and you may come back to the saying, well, why didn't you like Super Meat Boy as much as this? This is essentially the same kind of platforming without any kind of combat or anything, and yeah, it's even less or so than Super Meat Boy, where you can ride walls and stuff like that. Thing. Well, it's just that this one has the added complexity of 3D world set in a 2D on only viewed through a 2D plane. It's and the really interesting factor of the world being slowly corrupted and you having to actually try and not revisit areas several times over because they become more and more corrupted. Um, it's just such an interesting concept, and it's such a good mind-boggling game. That's why I think I kind of like this one because it's more puzzle than it is time trial that Super Meat Boy is. That's yeah, it's just got the added puzzle element to it, which I think is better. So yeah, I would quite totally recommend Fez. Probably the soundtrack edition when it's cheap, especially. Starhammer, the Vanguard Prophecy. Take command of Naval Strike Group 7 and lead your fleet to victory in a full 3D tactical space combat. Starhammer, the Vanguard Prophecy is a sci-fi strategy saga that will test your skills as both capital assault ship captain and naval fleet commander. So it sort of looks like Homeworld, but it's not. Well, okay, there's big weird alien whale creatures of some kind. It does look kind of like Homeworld, but I guess it's plotting out where your paths are and stuff, and strange alien creatures. Oh, and there's a whole bunch of like it really goes into depth with like shield power management and stuff for your capital ships. That's kind of cool and interesting. I mean, I really liked Homeworld, and if this is anything similar. Special promotion ends 11th of June. It is 90, no, 89% positive of only 28 user reviews, so it is fairly new. And so far, it's garnered positive reviews, but maybe see when it comes on later. Oh yeah, it's usually $20. It is on sale, like I said, till 11th June. $20 for this, or there's what's now Homeworld Remastered, which is amazing. How do you know? Does this have multiplayer? Nope, it's a single player only game. There's no multiplayer to it. That might be a markdown on it because Homeworld's multiplayer was pretty excellent, especially Cataclysm, but unfortunately that's not offered in the remastered edition because there's licensing issues, which is such bullshit nonsense. Yeah, I might be good, but I haven't actually heard or seen much about this. Let's take a look at the actual gameplay. See what this comes out like. Okay, looking very Homeworld. Yep. Spaceships flying around 3D area. There's a pause. Oh, okay, a pause mode to change the trajectory. And okay, ships actually move independently, and they have a vector and stuff. That's it's kind of it's like a real-time / turn-based strategy to a slight degree in a 3D space. That's actually kind of cool. Alright, pauses, mothership, etc. Well, it's like creatures. Okay, there isn't. I don't know if there's actually a base building, like shipbuilding elements to this, or if it's more similar to like ground control and World in Conflict, where you're given a limited amount of vehicles and you have to actually fight and survive with them. Because that's just space combat. Is there any actual? I mean, that does look fairly interesting, actually. Okay, how do you do that? Or is this just in-game footage or in-engine footage, which is like don't know if that's gameplay. Nope, not gameplay. Just pre-rendered. Looking at that gameplay, that does look rather interesting. Although, worth it. Yeah, whether or not there's longevity to it. Because is there? I mean, single player, but stream trade cards, whoop-de-doo. Maybe it is. I'll have to actually take a look at this, but that did intrigue me. The kind of stop and plot your path, kind of like combat system. It did look rather interesting. Maybe $15 or less. I'd probably really give it a go. Invisible Ink. Take control of Invisible's agents in the field and infiltrate the world's most dangerous corporations. Stealth, precision, and teamwork are essential in high-stakes, high-profit missions, where every move may cost an agent their life. Yeah, this is an interesting game made by guys who did Shank and Don't Starve, which were cool Clay. It has an interesting art style that, yeah, is very reminiscent of their previous work, but it's actually somewhat unique as well, and it definitely speaks as like a Clay title. It's as to whether or not it's really a good stealth, isometric stealth game, I'm not too sure. It has some interesting things of you're really tasked with incapacitating dudes and stuff more than killing them, because that actually is a negative. It has negative connotations on it, negative actions. Yeah, because it's not really. Or is it turn-based from what I remember? Let's just double check the gameplay if there is any. Okay, I don't care about 3D. Okay, yeah, marked it injured as well. I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool. Although that's not the game. It's all pre-rendered, sort of cutscene style stuff. think it is actually real time. It's not turn based. So, oh no, turn based it is. Excuse me. I'm lying. So, yeah, whether or not I can recommend it though. It has 94% of the 1000 and 68 user reviews, which is that's a pretty good indication of its quality. Um, yeah, whether or not it's $20 though, I'm not too sure. There's no actual DLC for it yet. So looking at how Clay does, it might have DLC coming. I mean, whether or not I don't know because I'm currently playing through XCOM and I don't know if it really beats that. I mean, although it's a different game where it's more that that's hex based or not really hex based, but it's got areas where you move around through things and stuff. And then that one's more combating aliens, while this one's trying to remain stealthy and spy and espionage. I don't know if I can really recommend it. It didn't really strike me as very interesting, and it's got its problems from what I heard. So I don't know. Maybe if it goes on sale for 15 or less, my usual caveat of cheaper is better. But I don't know, not at this price. Okay, and that's the cue for today. See you next time. I'll try and upload some more gameplay and yeah, I'll try and get another couple of these up and running. Okay, see ya.